Hello, this is Martha Alderson, the plot whisperer, and this is the plot series, How Do I Plot a Novel, Memoir, or Screenplay? And we are on step 19. And I thought I would give a little brief overview or explanation in case you're just joining us for the first time. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to take you through step by step by step all the steps necessary in order to plot out a novel, memoir, or screenplay. So by the end of the series, if you follow along in every step, you should have the skeleton of a plot and enough to really start your project and write all the way through the first draft. And I've tried to give a lot of different elements of what to expect, how to plan and organize, and sort of things that may interfere with your progress. So the steps 1 through 8 are the beginning. That's to formulate the very beginning, the 1/4 of the entire project. And then comes steps 9 through this step. There'll be two more steps, and then we'll end the beginning, and then we will begin the end, the last quarter of the project. So for any of you who have heard about the sagging middle and how meddlesome the middle can be in trying to construct it and plan for it and write through it, I've given you 10, 11, 12 steps to help guide you sort of moment by moment through that part of it in order to get to the end of the middle. So I'm hoping that that might help people who have been sort of flummoxed by the middle of a writing project. So here we are, one step before the crisis. And the crisis is the highest energetic scene of the entire project so far. So the whole middle of the project has been building step by step by step to this next moment, which is the crisis. And it's sort of the breakdown of the character in order for the character to rise up out of the ashes like the phoenix, be transformed, and then be able to do at the climax what they were unable to do at any other point in the story so far. So if you flattened out some of the tension in the middle of the project in order to develop the exotic world, now is the time to get the energy rising. Every scene now needs a lot of conflict, tension, and suspense in order to prepare the reader that something big is coming. So how does one do that? Well, the best way to do it is to take away the power from the protagonist and let it rest with the antagonist. So whether the antagonist is external, which means, you know, family, friends, a villain, some sort of external problem, or an internal antagonist, which is, you know, the protagonist's fears or flaw or prejudices or, you know, what they hate or feel uncomfortable in. Try to put the character in those situations, take the power away from her, and let the reader see who she is when she's under the most pressure in the story so far. In other words, whatever you sort of introduced at the beginning and perhaps deepened a bit in the middle, we're now seeing full-blown who the character really is, because we can sort of mask some of the darker sides of ourselves when things are going pretty well or there's not that much tension. But as soon as the character is put into the cauldron where the tension is the highest, we get to really see who the character is under extreme circumstances and what they need to overcome in order to prevail at the climax. So, so what you want is, if you're creating a plot planner, which is the line for the universal story form, you want all the scenes to pop above the line from this point until the crisis. And as long as that happens, you will be creating the energy and getting the reader ready so that when the crisis comes, it comes with the full impact and is able to really show the depth of change and emotion in the character. So as we spoke about before, another step dealt with the antagonist, another step dealt with subplots. And what you want to do is make sure that by this point you're tying off some of the major subplots. Because what you want is by the time you enter the end, the last quarter of the project, you want to be taking the character, excuse me, to the climax with the primary plot line alone, if possible. So, good luck. If you haven't visited the other steps, I hope you can do that now, and we will see you next time.